Good evening. Welcome to Julie Hall Designs. How are we going this evening, guys? Okay, how are we doing? I hope you are having a fantastic night. It's been a beautiful day here in Canberra, although it is a little bit chilly, I will say. So I just want to make sure that everything is working as we need it to. Okay, that's everything going well. Okay, so I hope you're having a fantastic week. Exciting week here in the Hall household. My little baby boy, my eldest, turns 19 today. So once I finish our class here, I just thought I saw something wrong there. So once I finish our class here, I'm going to go and celebrate with my beautiful little boy. 6'4", grumpy, and thought the box of presents that I left him was just his washing. It's been a good day. Okay, so today we are going to do some lace, and I can see we've got Vivian McKellar here with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Vivian. So the first lace headband that I did, this was my sample, and it was just a headband that I had in my stash. Today I went to my local $2 store and I got 2 headbands that we're going to use for $3, and I thought that was pretty good. But I was inspired by the beautiful headpiece that that Princess Kate wore to the coronation, and the first thing when I saw it was I thought, okay, that is so embroidered. That's so something that I can do. So what I did was I then made up the leaf design, and it's a little bit different than this. This was my test piece, and then I was able to come and make some changes. So the leaf design that is on the that's on the website today, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Screen, here we go. Okay, so this is our leaf design. This is just a 10 by 10 hoop, so you can see if I wanted to be stingy, I could probably get, I just wonder how many I could actually get into my hoop. I know I'd get 3. I'm not sure I'd get 4. But I'm going for 2. And this is just Artistic Digitizer. So I'm going for 2 leaves today, and then I'm going to do a little butterfly as well. And good evening, Ruth Russell. Thank you so much for joining us. So that's the design that we're going to use. It's very simple, and what you will be able to see is, let me just bring up the pictures of the coronation tiara. So you can see there, I'm hoping, why I've gone for that leaf image. And if you have a look here, what you can see is she's got 1 row of the headband just here, and then I would place a bet that there's another row of the headband right there. So she's gone for a double layer headband. I didn't have that option, so I have not done that. But let's come through and have a look at what we do have. First of all, we have the ability to move the screen around. And good afternoon, Joanna Morland. Thank you for joining us. And okay, it's been a good week actually. I've actually got some stuff done. Okay, so I've got my machine here and I'm using metallic thread. Now, I've got wash away and I've got 2 layers of wash away. What I want to talk about first is how our wash away needs to be completely in the hoop. So when I say completely in the hoop, what I'm meaning is it has to be fully, really clamped in tight. And what I do is I've got an iron that I never put water in. Like it's my little heat press iron, to be perfectly honest. It never has water in it. It doesn't take water. I use that on a low setting to iron my wash away so that I can make it as flat as possible. And then I've got double layer of that. I would love to be stingy on this, but it is just not worth it. The other thing is I don't go larger than when I'm putting multiple items into the hoop. I try not to go larger than like the 5x7 hoop with lace. And the reason that I do this is just because of distortion and movement. Okay, so I've got my metallic thread. Now, the other trick, and this is not a trick that I have come up with, it was taught to me by the lovely Michelle Reynolds, who I believe got it from Sue Box, is you bring up the bobbin thread. Very much a quilting sort of a thing to do. And what that does is stops you from having little floppy bits all over. So once I've got that, okay, I know I'm having some problems. I had some problems this afternoon with my machine, and with just this small panel here on my machine going cattywampus. But what that's going to do is it is meaning that I cannot set the machine to stitch. Ah, crap. You know those times when things just don't work for you? So, when in doubt, we'll turn it off. And please tell me this happens to other people as well. I really would not like to think that I was the only person who this happens to. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a little bit of a diagnostic sort of thing and make sure that all is looking good. With all of my other bits and tools. Oh, helps if you put a bobbin in, Julie. And it's a bugger because I've had such a good week. I've been stitching my life away. Okay. Oh, lovely. Okay. And now that I've done that, so for anybody else who has the same problem, what that appeared to be was once I was basically pressing buttons like a brain damaged test monkey, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so I've threaded that. Now I'm going to come through and grab up that bottom thread. Okay. And then I'm just going to hold those threads for the first couple of stitches. So what seemed to have fixed it was I pressed on the bobbin button. So I'm wondering whether that button was stuck. And Ruth, so yes, it sounds like it's exactly the same thing there, Ruth. Now, when you are doing lace, go slow. I am stitching on 500 stitches a minute. And what I want you to pay attention, particularly for those of you who enjoy digitizing, is what we've got is the stitches just going across here and then up in that direction in the leaf. What holds it all together is this satin outlining stitch. But Ruth, I appreciate that one. I will, and I so rarely wind bobbins. I'll ask Janome about it the next time I'm talking to them. But no, I had a huge day today. I had my daughters were on a marking day, so no school. And helped me do my grocery shop. And then we made cheesecake for Boyo's birthday because that's his favourite. And we did we sort of had a nice lunch. It was a really nice day. What about everybody else? What's everybody else been up to? You'll probably notice that this afternoon I spent my afternoon putting up new classes for the rest of the year. And that's because I've finally got some of my act together. Not all of it, not in any way all of it, but some of my act together. And I got a couple of things to show you tonight. But I'm loving just how delicate and open this is looking. So, metallic thread. Use a little bit of the thread serum if you need to. And you can see, and on each leaf there is not a single jump stitch. It is all done to flow into one another. So what's everybody else been up to? I've seen some great projects this week. One of the biggest projects that I've seen is, let me just save it so that I can show you. So this, Lynn Dixon and Lynn has made of the double zip pouches as gifts, and I think they look just fantastic. I'm loving this cowie cat, very Japanese cat. I know it's got a name and I don't know it, but don't they just look phenomenal? So great job, Lynn, and that's from the double zip pouch. Okay, let's see. So you can see we're nearly at the end. Now what I haven't done here is turn off my cutters. Because it's metallic thread, there is the chance that it's going to trim it and then the thread's just going to recoil back on itself, because I haven't turned those off. And that's exactly what has happened. Now, it's always worth checking out, particularly with metallic thread, the other place that it will jump out of alignment is in here. Now, I'm fine there, and I'm in there. I'm going to pull that up there. Now, even though there isn't much detail in these, because we're going slower, they're still like a relatively intensive thing to stitch, which is why I'm only stitching 2 of them and then 2 of the little butterflies. And good evening, Gail Murphy. How are you doing today, Gail? you might have seen one of you guys know I've been doing rope bowls since the pandemic. They've been, you know, they've been coming around, and I've done them in all the different. One of the things that I was a little bit worried with the whole rope bowl thing was the fact that the machines that do embroidery only, such as the 500, the 550, have a lot of trouble doing rope bowls. Now you can use the spring foot, and that will get you a lot better sort of a result. But the other thing that I decided to have a play with was to actually do a stitched base and then add the rope bowl onto it. Now, to give you a better idea, into a beach bag. And I'm thinking that's pretty bloody good. Now, the joy of the beach bag, and you guys are the first people seeing this, is that I've even lined it and I put a pocket in it. So these are projects that we are going to do. Next week we're going to do this one, and just check out the detail in that design. It's a design that I'm going to load up tomorrow. It's called Blue Work, and they are just, they remind me of, you know, the Delft work patterns that you can almost very Wedgwoody sort of a thing. So that's what I've sort of been basing them on. Okay, let's come and have a look and see how our sewing's going. Pretty, pretty, pretty. As next year's block of the month, I'm actually thinking around the idea of actually teaching you how to, for those who want to learn how to digitize it as well as stitch it. And I've just realised the one thing that I did wrong tonight, I did not turn on my VPN so that you guys would not get any buffering. I apologise for that. Now, when you're doing lace, and particularly if you're doing a lot of lace, it's one of those things, like I was stitching 6 pieces, 6 leaves and 4 butterflies in each hooping this week. And what I ended up doing was, there we go. That's not bad. Got to this time. Now, always worth checking out, particularly on metallics, exactly where that break has occurred, because what you'll find, so there's my inner polyester inner, and then I've got a little bit of thread just bunching up there. So I was sort of board sitting, waiting for this to stitch, and I ended up, pretty sure Edward was about to go and ask whether I was cheating on him, because I did his ironing. you know something's wrong when the ironing gets done. And good evening, I can see that we've got Sue Thompson and Helen Cassidy with us as well. And I do think this gold looks very, very elegant. And then I'm just going to do one of these teeny tiny. Now, because as I said, I'm not cutting that, I'm going to do one of these teeny tiny little butterflies. So, I mean, I've tried it using just one layer of stabilizer. Generally, like, you know, maybe 6-7 times out of 10 you'll get a good result. But the result is always so much better with a second layer. And if you're going to go to all this trouble to stitch it, you might as well do it properly. Now, this bit wigs me out, simply because of how it does that little openy bit there over the wig. Murphy's Law says, I really looked at that and I thought, you know what, I've got plenty of bobbin fill there. That's not going to be an issue. Obviously, I was wrong. Of you have a hot glue gun? Doesn't have to be a big fancy schmancy one. Mine's kind of, you know, reject shopping sort of one that's been around forever. that is what I'm going to use to secure my lace. And Lisa Callum and Lucinda Williams are watching. Thank you for joining us. Now, Miss Lisa, the darling Eloise would look lovely in one of these, your beautiful daughter. And she could probably do the stitching out herself. So, the lace is basically made up of an underlay stitch and then your detail stitches that give it the oomph. So in this case, it's these satin stitches here, giving the butterfly its shape and holding it all together. Okay. And that is our lace done. So now what I'm going to do is come and move over to our workbench. So this is the lace that I've just stitched, and now it's got to go in there, but I can always find uses. For instance, I can make my own starch out of leftovers. So I do become a little bit stingy because, and I can hoop that even in my tiniest hoop or use it as a topper. So that is then my thing, and I take a bowl of water, and you got to have a little bit of patience. Now do trim off any excess threads, say from when I rethreaded that, and then I just let it sit. Now I don't joggle it around, I don't squishy it, any of that. I'm just letting it sit, and I just pop it aside and move on to whatever I'm doing next. Now by the time we finish putting that together, all of that is going to have come, all of that water is going to have come out. But what you'll see I've got here is my hot glue gun on a old plastic board, and I've got a hot glue stick, and I've got my headband. And these are some of the lace pieces that I've done and already cut out. So to load it up, and everyone's head is going to be different. So depending on where the person you are doing this for is going to, like some people, for instance, I need that to sit behind my ear. So I'm leaving an inch free on each. And then all we're going to do is using tiny globs of glue, come through and stitch and hold that down. Now if you've got Teflon hands, it will be a lot handier. And my glue is at the end there, and I want another piece put in. And if you have the ability to put that glob of glue on and then just let it sit and cool, is the best way of getting it done. Leaves much less. But I am loving how that is already looking. And wait until you see as we double down and get some extra layers on it. Teflon fingers that don't mind a bit of burn is a good thing. So have any of you actually done this before? Like something similar with using the hot glue gun, using the like 3D elements? The other one somebody suggested that I do was a poinsettia. Like a lace poinsettia could make quite a nice Christmas piece. Okay. Okay, so we are a little bit uneven there at the moment, but I don't mind that because the next piece I'm going to add on, which is then going to layer over in that direction. So I'm going to layer that piece there, and then I'm just going to give it a dab. Glue that tip to that tip. And again, all I'm looking for is that real luxury look where we are not seeing the headband at the base of it. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear my daughter cackling. If you are a hot fix crystal person, that's the other thing that you can have fun with. And maybe I'll do that on Sundays actually. I'll get everything ready so that I can add some hot fix crystals on as well. But you can see how much denser and more beautiful that is already looking. Now, the other thing that I do want to do as well is come through just in a couple of little places and place a little butterfly. Carol Wren's watching as well. Thank you for joining us, Carol. Now, I'm going to place one of my butterflies just in here. I'm going to do that. Putting the glue in, and then just sitting it inside. And it's really just going to be hidden. You can put as few or as many, or you could just have butterflies. Doesn't have to be either. Now, and yeah, it's really freeform. There is no pattern for how you are going to add these because it is totally up to you. Say for instance, if I want that one to come over a little more there, that's all good. And then I can pop this one over a little bit on that side. And then to secure both of them, so long as I then just use a little bit of glue, and you can see how we're almost totally covered up that image of where you can see it is a, you know, just a basic headband. Wish I'd known this when I got married. I forked out on tiaras just for my flower girls. My bridesmaids didn't have them, but, and you know, it was 2003, so it was a slightly different world out there. We didn't have, I don't think we even had really eBay, not the way we do now anyway. And look, they all loved them at the time, but, you know, as you would expect, none of those girls has kept that tiara. I can't complain too much. It's not, I kept the marriage, but I didn't keep the wedding dress or anything like that. Okay. And I think that's almost going to do me. I just want to pop in a couple more of my flowers. Okay, now I have a really bad head. It's fat, it is, it's badly shaped, so I don't know how this is going to go, but let's give it a whirl. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, that's how I like it. Very much more 1920s, much more Miss Fisher. So this is my take on the coronation headband, and I am kind of loving it. What do you guys think? Let me grab here. Okay, Ernie Smith's asking about changing bobbins. Okay, Helen Cassidy's got a glue gun. Fabulous. So, okay, Eloise is facing some difficulties at the moment. But yeah, I'm actually quite liking that, and I'm looking forward. On Sunday afternoon, I'm going to have a go at adding some hot fix crystals to it. So as you can see, it's not like the stitching time actually does take a bit. It is involved. But I think that's kind of elegant and subtle at the same time. I kind of wish one of the nieces was getting married again now. Oh, absolutely. And Vivian, this kid is the kid who, yeah, you really want to, really celebrate this birthday. I don't know if I have any pictures of him now, but that's okay because he's, a grumpy little bastard now. But I'm just going to see if I've got, and I don't, I'll post a picture up of my little darling later this week on him when he was born, £9.11. That was not a good day. And now. So no, I'm kind of liking that one. It's Kathy Oderkirken thinks it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Kathy. So the leaf design is on Locked In Stitches. Feel free to download it. Not bad for a bit of thread. And the other thing that I do like is that you can make it any colour that you wish to go with what you are wearing. I just happen to, really love the metallics because I'm a magpie at the end of the day. So next week we are going to do the rope bowl. And you are going to love just how quick that makes, making a rope bowl. Whilst I love the design that I've used in the centre of mine, have a think around any Christmassy designs that you might have, because it really would make a good little Christmas one. And it's a great way for those with embroidery-only machines, such as the 500 and the 550, to be able to use those machines and still do and have the rope bowl effect. I have seen, one of the things that inspired me to do this was the another digitizer's put out that they've done a rope bowl totally in the hoop. Now, good on them, and God bless. Like, it looks very, very interesting. But what you've got to do is you've got to spiral it all and have it all held together, and then spray glue. And that's just never going to happen in my world, because I really dislike spray glue. So this was my solution to that. So join us next week for that one. We will be doing this again on Sunday, and I will have lots of, I'll have some hot fix crystals that I'm going to put on there as well, just to make it extra blingish. Okay, so until next time, guys, have a stitching day.